Hello and welcome. I'm Paul Richards from Sexton Glover Watts Real Estate, based here in the Adelaide Hills. And this is just a quick video for all those first home buyers or people that haven't purchased a property for quite some time and the process that you need to go through. So, you found the property that you're looking for and you want to put forward an offer, but you're not quite sure how. So, here's a couple of things that you're going to have to go through. Number one is price. What price are you going to be willing to pay for the property? Now this can be based around other properties that you've looked at, what friends' opinion of the property are, family members. At the end of the day, you're going to have to put forward an offer. Price is going to be the number one consideration, okay? Number two, deposit. How much money have you got in the bank? How much deposit can you put forward? Now I always think that a higher deposit shows the owner that you're in a strong position. Now, it doesn't have to be 10%, but quite often we'll put forward offers of, say, deposits of around $20,000, okay? Ultimately, the owner will need to agree to what deposit is there. The average price of properties that we sell through the area is around $500,000. Okay, the next thing to take into consideration is settlement. So what's your current situation? Are you living at home? Are you renting? What settlement date is going to suit you? And even more so, what settlement date is going to suit the owner? So quite often you can ask the estate agent what's their position. Normally it's going to be around 45 days. It used to be that you could do it 30 days, but that is happening less and less because banks are taking longer to get the approvals in place for finance. So settlement, let's say 45 days as an average. Now, do you need finance approval? Quite often if you're a first home buyer, you will, and you hopefully will have chatted to your bank or financier about what your position is. There's a couple of things that you'll need to remember when filling out a contract. With finance, you'll need to know what amount of finance do you need? So if it's $500,000, do you need, say, $400,000 loan? What's the time frame within which the bank will give you formal approval? So quite often they will need to value the property that you're purchasing. That takes a bit of time. So what is the time frame? Once again, working on averages, I'd allow about 3 weeks, so 21 days. And lastly, what percentage interest rate are you going to get that loan at? Now it can be less than, so I would put in, say, 5%. These days it's around 4.2 or 3.9, depending on which bank you're with. Now if you're a first home buyer, it's unlikely that you're going to have a property to sell, but for those that haven't sold recently, or haven't purchased recently rather, subject to sale is another condition that can be put into a contract. A few things to remember there is what price do you need to sell that property at, and what time frame will that take to sell at that price, okay? So they're the two main things that you need to be aware of there. Another thing that's becoming more common is a building and pest inspection. This can be done during the cooling off period, but I generally write into the contract that it needs to be done within the first 7 days of that contract being signed. So within 7 days of contract. And then inclusions and exclusions. So just try and be aware of what is included in the property and what's not. Is the fridge staying? Is the tennis court netting staying? There's things there that you just want to make sure of. The way it was explained to me when I first started is if you take a house, pick it up, tip it upside down and shake it, everything that falls out, that's what is excluded. Now just a few other things. So you've found the property that you like. Quite often people will put forward verbal offers. They're not worth anything. So make sure that you either get an offer document from the agent or you go straight to contract. Now, I always prefer to do contract form because it goes through all of these details. Offer documents don't do that. It also shows that you're very serious. You're not here to muck around. You want to buy the property, go straight to contract. The only times that I don't do that is when we've got competition. So if I've got 4 people that want to buy the property, I'll give each of those 4 people an offer document and I'll ask them to put in their best and final offers. Okay. Now, if there are situations which those offers need to have more of this detail entered into, then I can do that. But that's pretty much the only time that I'll use offer documents. Alrighty. So I hope that's helped. I hope that's answered more questions than it's raised. Ultimately, the agent that's selling the property is there to sell it. That's how they get paid. So they're there to help you, and they're also there to help the owner as well get the best price. So keep that in mind. I'm Paul Richards from Sexton Glover Watts Real Estate, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.